Tens of thousands of Americans are spending this Thanksgiving in the hospital as COVID-19 cases continue to climb. We'll learn how some four-staters are working around the pandemic to provide safe celebrations.
The Four States Most Watched News starts now.
There's concern this Thanksgiving holiday will lead to an even higher spike in coronavirus infections as families get together with loved ones despite CDC recommendations. This is KOAM News at 10. Yesterday, the U.S. reported more than 2,200 new COVID deaths. That's the highest single-day toll since early May. Nearly 90,000 COVID patients are currently hospitalized in the U.S. Other coronavirus patients are recovering at home, including truck driver Anil Gamarkar of Kansas, who's now breathing through a tracheotomy tube. He says his main concern when he got sick was his family.
I mean, the last thing I thought, and I prayed, scared that I had infected my wife and my kids and my mom.
Despite calls to stay home this Thanksgiving to limit the spread of the virus, the TSA says it screened more than 1 million travelers at checkpoints nationwide yesterday. That is the most in one day since mid-March. Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at the weather. Doug, I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving.
Well, you as well, Dow, and of course your family. And yeah, it was a pretty good Thanksgiving. In fact, our temperatures were amazing for us today. So it was a good day to actually get outside, do some social distancing, eating, and feasting as we went into lower 60s. 31 to start, so a chilly start. We had the fog during the morning hours. We got a few clouds this evening, but we have cleared out, at least over the past couple hours, but these clouds will kind of filter back in during the rest of the overnight hours. We may even get a random sprinkle or two, mainly on the Missouri side, later on tonight, but not a huge deal as a weak little wave works through the region. What that wave will do is cool us down a little bit over the next couple days. But you can see those few random sprinkles trying to pop up late tonight into tomorrow morning. Most of us right now, 40 to about 45. I think most of us will bottom out near 40 a little bit later on tonight. The winds are on the light side. They'll pick up a little bit for us tomorrow. Of course, we're going to look at Black Friday, which is tomorrow. I know it's a little different. And then, of course, the holiday weekend all coming up here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Doug. As the pandemic changed the way a lot of us celebrate Thanksgiving this year, a local nursing home made sure its residents still have a special holiday. Staff provided the video and photos for us at our request. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, family and friends are not permitted inside, so staff at Spring Hill Assisted Living Center in Neosho gave their residents a big Thanksgiving meal. It was loaded with all the usual Thanksgiving fare, as well as surprise dishes from some of the residents' family members who dropped them off. Staff wanted to make sure their residents felt a sense of home and togetherness during an uncertain time.
Trying to keep it as fun and high energy for them as we can and just make it really special.
Residents also created crafts, writing down what they were thankful for as a daily reminder. Joplin's First United Methodist Church provided free Thanksgiving meals differently this year than in the past. Now, in previous years, hundreds of meals would be served in the church's gym to promote fellowship with community members. But because of the pandemic, today the church provided meals to four-staters in a drive-through line and walk-up.
It means a lot to us that we're able to reach out and get connected with the community and just most importantly spread the love of God, especially this year whenever people may be feeling the craziness a little more than usual. They're able to just feel something to be thankful for in the midst of it.
This is the 25th year Joplin First United Methodist Church has provided Thanksgiving meals. Now, today's KOAM News Now Insta-poll question. Doug mentioned Black Friday. Our question, how do you plan on doing your Black Friday shopping this year? Online, in person, or not at all? We launched this poll at 6. It is still active. You can participate in the poll at koamnewsnow.com/vote or on the KOAM News Now app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check in on the numbers here in just a bit. Residents of Southeast Joplin have another reason to celebrate today. The Public Works Department today wrapped up work on the roundabout at 44th and Connecticut. It'll be open to traffic on December 3rd, a week from now. The Missouri Department of Commerce and Insurance is reminding everyone that open enrollment for Medicare ends December 7th nationwide. Those who have not yet made their planned selections for 2020 are encouraged to contact KOAM. KOAM provides free help from certified counselors. You can find out how to contact KOAM in this story on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Still ahead, with Thanksgiving meals reduced mostly to leftovers now, a local nonprofit has their focus set on Christmas. And later, we're going to look at how the president and president-elect spent their Thanksgiving. While we celebrate Thanksgiving, a local nonprofit is looking ahead to Christmas. A lot of hard work is going into the Newton County Food Basket Brigade's food program this year. It's been a tradition for more than 30 years, but this year is seeing the biggest changes yet. KOAM's Zach Dodge has details.
Good morning.
Hard work.
I see that last year you had a 8 o'clock appointment.
And dedication.
Are you doing okay? Great.
Ann Hamlet with the Newton County Food Basket Brigade makes calls to residents who received food last year, a basket with a Christmas dinner, and a full week of food afterwards. She's one of 8 people working to call more than 800 residents to get them signed up.
I have probably made 300 calls.
300 calls.
Easily.
Normally it's something that would happen in person at the help center, but the pandemic has changed a lot this year.
We really want to reach out. We really want to make this happen.
And we came up with a game plan pretty quick because we were not going to let this fall by the wayside.
Their community-wide pickup is happening on December 12th, but it's going to be done with no contact. And on distribution day, normally those receiving baskets will go inside the building at the fairgrounds, like you see here from 2018, and help load their own baskets. But that will be different as well.
You'll have a time slot to come. We'll check your photo ID. Then you drive around the building and we'll have you open your trunk or your back seat or whatever, and one of our workers will put your food in your car, and that's all there is to it.
So it's a lot of change and a lot of work. But after 30 years and helping hundreds, it's worth it to keep the tradition alive.
You know the year we've had. You know, it's been a challenge, and it's no different here. But we want to make sure that, you know, the people in Newton County have Christmas dinner, and that's what we're here for.
I had a great mentor, Virginia McKenzie, who did what I'm doing now. And when I would get all worried about, well, I don't know if we'll have enough groceries, she'd just go, Ann, they're getting groceries. Just smile, and they're getting groceries. And I remember her, and I remember her words when things get a little bit crazy.
In Newton County, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Organizers say if you receive a call, it's important that you return that call to get signed up. The deadline is December 4th. If you're part of a family that wants to sign up for the first time, you're going to need to call the Help Center in Neosho. We'll have that number on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Doug Heddy is up next with his complete forecast, and a little bit later on KOAM News at 10. Could sites tailored to political interests deepen the divide among Americans?
Shop Food for Less, where our name says it.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Thanksgiving for us today. Definitely the best day of the week so far after the clouds and the rain, and it's going to cool down behind it. So, hey, we'll take it as we went into lower 60s for highs. Plenty of sunshine, which you can see on our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort time lapse for you. A few clouds during the evening hours, but besides that, it's turned out to be a great day. All right, so what's to come? A few sprinkles tonight. Cold front is going to roll through, so a little bit cooler for Black Friday and into the holiday weekend. Some rain chances Saturday night into Sunday morning. You can get my month-long blog, my long-range forecast on KOAMnewsnow.com. In fact, I just updated it and long-range forecast all the way through Christmas. Next week sometime, probably Wednesday, I'll have to talk to Jake, our producer, and see if we can do the winter forecast. All right, most of us 40 to about 45 right now. A little bit cooler, Fort Scott, Pittsburgh at 39. I think most of us are going to kind of hover in that 35 to 40 degree range throughout the overnight hours, as we still have southeasterly winds kicking in, but you can see the low pressure on the front just to our west. This is going to push in. What it's going to do for us is give us some clouds tonight, maybe a random sprinkle, and then cool us back down just a bit over the next couple days. Outside right now, 44. East winds are light at about 5. Humidity's kind of high. We could even have a little bit of patchy fog in spots, but nothing like what we did see during the morning hours for us today. The deck of clouds we had earlier this evening is gone, but you can see the clouds starting to fill back in across southeastern Kansas. So especially after midnight, we'll have mostly cloudy skies as this weak little wave rotates by. Behind it, next system, you can see a little kink in the winds just to the east of Las Vegas. Another weak system that is going to head toward us, but it should give us some rain, at least scattered rain, on Saturday night and into Sunday morning. So let's progress through time. For us tonight, the clouds, random sprinkle or two, not a big deal. Most of us in that 35 to 40 degree range. By noon, we should be sitting right around 50 degrees. I think we'll have plenty of sunshine by the afternoon. And then we should go into the mid 50s. We'll drop back by 4:35 o'clock as the sun angle gets pretty low. 42 to start, 50 by noon, high temp at 54. We're going to have those north winds at 5 to 15 across the region. Tomorrow night, cold. We drop back near 30. Should still have pretty much clear skies. And then as we head into the weekend, Saturday looks pretty good. Partly sunny skies, mid 50s once again. But those clouds increase Saturday night. Look at the rain trying to work in after 10, 11 o'clock. This is mainly going to be in the southern half of the region. On and off light showers. It's going to be a cold rain as we set into the upper 30s. I do think most of this is going to be out of here by mid-morning on Sunday, and then the rest of Sunday should shape up okay. As you can see, the storm system wraps up the eastern seaboard. On the back side, we get colder air, so it's going to be cold again on Monday into Tuesday. And then we're going to watch that next system on Wednesday. You can see that little twist right across Wichita, an area of low pressure that will push in. And if we can get enough moisture, we'll get some rain and snow chances. 54 tomorrow, 55 Saturday, 50 on Sunday, those morning showers, and then a little bit cooler overnight lows into the 20s Monday and Tuesday.
Closer to what we would typically expect, I guess, this time of year.
Exactly, heading into December.
Thanks, Doug. The Kansas City Chiefs say they didn't play today, but one player sure had the chance to give back to the community and did. Nose tackle Derek Noddy provided Thanksgiving meals to dozens of Independence, Missouri families in need. More than 100 families got a full meal with turkey, ham, and all the fixings in that box, as well as a Chiefs flag. Still ahead, could sites tailored to specific political views like Parler deepen the partisan divide among Americans? And we're going to find out how the president and president-elect spent their Thanksgiving.
Doug Hetty has earned the
President Trump and President-elect Biden both spent Thanksgiving at home, largely with family. President Trump sent a Happy Thanksgiving tweet this morning, and it included a link to a news story showing the Supreme Court issued a decision last night blocking COVID restrictions on houses of worship. President-elect Biden released a Thanksgiving message on social media this morning, urging Americans not to gather in large groups.
It's a personal sacrifice that each of our families can make and should make to save somebody else's life.
The president-elect said he would spend Thanksgiving with his wife, daughter, and son-in-law. Sites like Twitter and Facebook have begun flagging posts by President Trump and others that include misinformation on elections and COVID. The move has frustrated many of the president's supporters who've responded by turning to a platform like Parler, which calls itself a premium free speech app. Reporter Errol Barnett shows us why the emergence of these unregulated forums could make it harder for us to find common ground.
I'm proud to join Parler. This platform gets what free speech is all about.
Parler, which is described as a Twitter for conservatives, has seen a rapid rise in popularity since the election, topping Apple's download charts last week with more than 10 million users.
Can we now move everybody from Twitter to Parler?
It's become a platform of choice for millions of conservatives, like re-elected Colorado Congressman Ken Buck, to voice frustrations and share ideas. Ideas Buck says companies like Twitter and Facebook are censoring.
The best antidote to misinformation is more good information. It's not censoring or regulating or filtering bad information. We have to be educated as a public.
Congressman, you have seen, though, that I guess the expression has been proven true that a lie travels much faster than the truth. An erroneous headline will be shared online and seen and engaged with by more people than the correction. So do you really trust most Americans to fact check everything they engage with?
I absolutely trust Americans. And I think that's one of the differences between the left and the right. And it's one of the reasons why an organization or a company like Parler can get started.
But as the number of users grow, so does the misinformation being spread. Unproven accounts of voter fraud and COVID-19 hoax claims run rampant on sites like Parler, with almost no filter.
Parler, I think, is dangerous because it's actually encouraging people to get into yet another hyper-confirming like-minded reality in which people will be even more overwhelmingly convinced that their side is right.
Tristan Harris is a computer scientist and says in some ways social media platforms create tailor-made realities. Post-election protests have highlighted this growing polarization.
We're not conceding because we've won the election. We just want it to be revealed, and if it takes it to the courts, we're ready to go the distance.
Liberals and conservatives battling over not just opinions, but basic facts.
We know that social media has been dealing out conspiracies to us because it's never been easier to assert salacious realities that have no basis in fact than it is with social media. So I really, really worry about the death of trust.
Parler CEO John Mates told CNBC recently his app was for everyone and that users control the content they see.
We don't curate content. The people who use the platform do. They choose what they trust, what they don't trust.
We can't have an election stolen like this.
Now, millions of loyal supporters of President Trump will soon be adjusting to a new reality. Joe Biden entering the White House in January. But if the incoming president-elect wants to get anything done, Harris says he'll have to break through the echo chamber.
If he really wants to take on whether it's COVID-19, climate change, or economic recovery, or systemic racism, you're not going to be able to take on any of those issues if the information that we're all consuming is in these different micro-realities that are incompatible with each other.
Now, despite being viewed by the Anti-Defamation League as a haven for hate speech, Parler tells us in a statement its app is, quote, a destination for everyone who believes in the First Amendment and free speech. We asked them about online claims that they ban liberal viewpoints. They deny that, but Parler says it does ban for criminal posts, violence, and spam. Errol Barnett, CBS News, New York.
Disney plans to lay off 32,000 employees by the end of March. The job cuts come as the pandemic continues to have a negative impact on the company's parks and resorts. Word of the layoffs come in a filing to the Securities and Exchange Commission. And it comes after the media and entertainment giant already announced plans to cut roughly 28,000 jobs in September. According to its most recent annual report, Disney employs about 223,000 people. The company's parks business has more than 100,000 employees in the U.S. We'll have a final check on the weather and hear how some of our troops overseas spent their Thanksgiving next.
Try a delicious apple.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Petty Officer First Class Ricardo Sumrall. The Cherokee, Kansas native served in the U.S. Navy, and we are proud to salute Petty Officer First Class Ricardo Sumrall, he's tonight's four-state hero. Speaking of heroes, while we celebrate a modified version of Thanksgiving this year, U.S. soldiers overseas are also feeling the impact of the pandemic. Ian Lee tells us how service members are spending the holiday in Iraq and Syria.
It's Thanksgiving on the front lines, but the mission doesn't take a holiday, and neither do the troops. In Syria, soldiers patrol towns and villages, but for Sergeant William Mills from the 82nd Airborne, it's the little things he's grateful for, like moments with local children.
It kind of takes your mind elsewhere. You kind of forget like the situation you're in, and it's nice to kind of, just relax and hang out.
Slices of home, like turkey and pie, are all takeaway this year. And at this base in northern Iraq, troops are practicing social distancing.
I'd like to send a message to COVID-19. I better not screw up my travel plans, so if you could just leave by the time I get back, that'd be great.
But the spirit of the season isn't lost on specialist Sharif Tijani Bimbola. The Apache mechanic immigrated from Nigeria 4 years ago.
I'm feeling grateful that I'm on a path to make a better life for my family, to make a better future for my child.
The health we have.
Chief Medical Officer Chris Call thought his primary concern would be combat injuries. Instead, he set up quarantine wards for the more than 100 soldiers infected with the coronavirus.
COVID has really united us as a humanity on this base, as opposed to all of our individual units. It's really, in a lot of ways, brought us together in a way that I never could have imagined.
Call it COVID camaraderie. And in 2020, that's something to give thanks for. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
The U.S. is expected to withdraw about 500 of the 3,000 troops currently based in Iraq. About 1,000 are still serving in Syria. Now, today's KOAM News Now Instapoll, we asked, how do you plan on doing your Black Friday shopping this year? Only 4% said in person, 21% said online. The vast majority, 3 out of 4, said not at all. The poll is now closed. Thank you for participating. Let's check back with Doug Heddy now for a final look at the weather. Doug.
All right, Dow, it looks pretty good for us tonight. We're going to drop back into the mid to upper 30s to near 40 degrees. We are going to have some clouds, could have a random sprinkle, but tomorrow afternoon looks good. Saturday looks good. And then we're going to have some scattered showers work back in for us Saturday night into Sunday morning. We're going to turn a little bit cooler, but most of these should be out of here by Sunday afternoon.
All right. Thanks, Doug. Thank you for joining us on this Thanksgiving. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.